Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By. My name's Jake. I'm one of your hosts, and joining me today are our other hosts who are the next people that will be speaking to you after I have finished speaking, which will be in just a few seconds.
Chris.
This is Ames, one of your hosts.
I'm also a host who is called Caitlin.
Thank you, hosts. The hosts with the mosts. Okay, here we go. Well, on this week's episode of A Star to Steer Her By, we're going to be talking about 2 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. No, that's not the one. Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
I keep doing the same thing.
On this episode, which happens to be our 150th episode.
What?
I knew that was
Is
in to
there
get
a word for that?
It's called the...
150th.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
What's interesting is 100 episodes ago was only our 50th. Isn't that fun to think about? So yeah, for our 150th episode special, we're going to be covering not 1, but 2 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And I think you'll find that they both sucked.
Sesquicentennial.
There we go. Our Sasquatch anal is today.
And we have an episode title.
Please, no.
Anal! Oh, no!
All right, so... This week we will be talking about 2 episodes. The first is called Le Passager. Or The Passenger, as it was said in English. Actually, that was the original title, but when they aired it in France, they called it Le Passenger. And followed by Move Along Home. Which
Just the French.
Which was, that was the English title, actually.
Where did they use so much French? I mean, isn't it a dead language?
More or less. Although, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to Voyager.
Will we?
Yeah.
Why, does she have a French press?
Well, the first...
She likes coffee. It's
Well,
great.
the first captain of the ship was a Quebecois.
Was a cup of coffee.
I
I don't know.
Anyway. All right, so what the fuck happened in The Passenger? I just barely remember.
Julian Bashir was haunted by McCoy's ghost.
Fucking Lord, this fucking Dick Show episode. God. All right.
Dick Show episode.
What the fuck just happened, Ken?
In The Passenger, here's what happened. So we're on the ship, or I should say the space station. And no, we're not. We start out, we're in the runabout. It's Julian, and he's being a creep. And he's acting like a dickhead.
Well, he's not creeping.
No, he's not being creepy. He's
self-aggrandizing.
He's acting like a dickhead.
He's not acting like a dickhead. He is a dickhead.
What was he doing?
He was talking about how great he is and how he single-handedly cured this disease and he brought a man back to life and
he has a gift and the fates have given him a gift.
And Kira's like, I literally give no fucks.
Kira's getting really tired of his shit, which is a good lampshade, thank you. They get a distress call. They go to check it out. It's a ship on fire. They beam over. They rescue a lady and a man dies.
Whoops.
Back on our ship, the lady's like, are you sure he's dead? And Bashir's like, listen, lady, I'm a fucking doctor. Have you heard of what a genius I am? And she's like, no, but have you checked to see if he's dead? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, what, did you really check? Can I check?
Can I stab him for you?
Yeah. So they spend a lot of time trying to, with this lady, this convinced that this man's not dead, and they're like, why? And she's like, well, he's a major criminal, and like he's faked his death a lot. And
gaslighting this poor bitch.
And they're like, well,
this time he's super dead.
We're pretty goddamn sure he's dead because we really checked. He
ain't breathing.
We even touched his dick, and it didn't move.
Wow.
Long story short, he was alive.
After they fucking checked, they touched his dick, it didn't move, and he's fucking alive?
Yeah, no, it turns out that he had hidden his...
I hate when they do that.
He had hidden his
Katra.
His real dick.
Which actually they make reference to, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
He had hidden his consciousness under his fingernail.
Yes.
The place you'd never look.
Not much of a consciousness. That seems really tiny.
And like when he was about to die, he touched Julian and downloaded himself into Julian's brain.
Neck.
So now Julian has basically a Trill situation going on where he's got a murderer inside, but he's not.
Call Tandro. Tandro will get to the bottom of this.
Meanwhile, there's this shipment of some kind of shit that is needed for reasons on the planet that this guy is from, and the lady.
They're all dying or something.
A shipment of shit.
Their
A
DNA is
shipment,
broken.
you might say.
I don't know. It's the same problem that the Asgard were having in SG-1. I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Quark's into it, though.
Yeah,
Quark
Quark is like... So Quark apparently is involved in some serious shady business because he's...
Were you surprised?
He was hooking up before he evidently died. Quark had been working with this murderer guy to like hire some mercenaries to hijack this shipment.
Yeah, what was it? Delirium?
Delirium?
Delaudanum?
What does it say?
Duodenum? I don't
Duridium.
Duridium.
So the mercenaries show up and they're like, the guy's dead. And then they're like, Quark's like, no, don't worry about it. The gig is still on, and then in a shocking reveal that nobody saw coming, we find out finally that Julian had the guy's consciousness in him, which is literally something, as the audience, we've known since the fucking cold open. Anyway.
Is Garrick jealous?
Big time. Garrick's like, I always wanted to be in Julian.
Yeah, exactly.
Why was that your Odo voice?
Well, long story. Question. Does Odo do sex?
He can.
He can be any shape he wants.
And there's any size he wants.
Or any size
he's a man of few words. See, some people say there's no such thing as perfection, but...
Anyway.
Of course he looks like, that.
Anyway, Bashir has a whole thing planned. He's sabotaged the station. They steal a runabout to go and hijack this ship that's out in space.
I can't take seriously a ship called a runabout.
They hijack it... But turns out that the sabotage of the station was foiled by fucking dweebus guy. Primin.
There we
we'll talk
go.
About.
What?
I couldn't remember his name earlier. I called him Pig Whistle.
Yeah, he likes apropos.
Piss whistle.
End of the day, they rescue the shipment and they use they fucking they jack off.
They jizzed in his face.
They jizzed in. No, they sent a big wad of jizz up the tractor beam to snap Julian back into existence, and then all is well.
Cool. And then they removed the verter from Julian's brain.
Yep, and then
with a transporter.
Yeah, then they beamed out part of Julian's brain.
Yep, that's fine.
And put it in a CD-ROM,
which then got disintegrated.
Yep.
Yeah, don't shoot things in the room with lots of tech, lady.
How'd she get that phaser onto the promenade without setting off the...
My promenade.
Mm-hmm. Passenger.
So,
written by, or originally written by, or the story written by the guy who did The Inner Light and Starship Mine.
Wow, he fucked this one up.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's really good.
It's forgettable.
Kind of, it's kind of like
from the man who brought you two incredible things. Something that's shit.
Here's the thing. Maybe it would seem worse.
Prepare to be underwhelmed by.
Maybe it would seem worse if it wasn't immediately followed by Move Along Home.
No, I was already thinking like, oh god, I'm introing this week, and both of these episodes are garbage fires.
I think of them as a garbage fire.
I think Move Along Home is better than this, honestly. I was so fucked. Well,
come on, you didn't love Julian's "I'm Possessed" acting?
Oh god, Julian's
so
"I'm Possessed." I can show him a different character if I just talk really.
I have to.
Do you think he asked Shatner if he had any tips, and that's what he came up with?
I have to take back something I said a few weeks ago, which is like that the acting on Deep Space Nine is good, but god damn it, fucking
Alexander Siddig.
Yeah, it's Siddig Alpha Deal, whatever he changes his name.
Yeah, right now he's
Siddig Alpha 5.
Right now he's Siddig Alpha Deal.
Him and fucking Terry Farrell really need to take. I know it's a short season, so they'll get.
Last week, Terry Farrell didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but like there was one moment in, I think it was in this episode, where she walks into the bridge and is like, "Benjamin, I have figured it out." It's just so bad.
Oh no! Well, this is an episode where she does have a lot of psychobabble, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just. What
did I say?
It's so bad.
Either way, both.
I hope.
I
feel like they get better, but the two of them are just not pulling their weight.
Aside from when he was being possessed, he was fine.
That's the thing. I think that the actor, what's his name?
Siddig Alpha Deal.
I think he's a competent actor. I'm hoping that this is like a really bad directorial choice.
It reminds me an awful lot of when they made Brent Spiner be all the things in
Oh,
Mask.
God,
that
yeah.
episode
And
is
just decided,
so
let's
bad.
just do weird shit with his voice or something.
Yeah.
So it shows he's a different character.
Well, he also did this thing where like he kind of tilted his head back and looked down his face a lot, which led to you really noticing the eyeliner they put on him in this one scene. Like,
Well, when you're evil, you wear eyeliner. What
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah, that's true. It's established in Star Trek.
yeah, no, but again, this is another episode. Like, I feel like the last two from last week all started with like Julian, because it was like first it was Julian hitting on that woman, then it was Julian
hitting
creeping on Dax.
Dax.
And then this week it starts with Julian being a douche about how great he is. It's like a great like little triplicate of fucking shut up, Julian.
So this is also the second week in a row that we don't have O'Brien.
Right.
What was the second?
Jesus.
Yeah, because he wasn't there last time either.
Yeah, he was off with Keiko. I wonder what he was doing in real life. Did you?
Oh, I did. It might be on my other notes. He was off doing a movie, I guess, or some shit.
Oh, cool.
Oh, was it Con Air?
I was gonna say Con Air could have been around
He
now.
was in Con Air?
No,
Yeah.
Con Air was way later than
What did he
this.
play in Con
1984.
Air?
An American, which is weird.
That's
Yeah.
a bad idea.
Jesus.
Well, actually, while I'm looking at my notes, I realized, as we were making fun of Siddig's voice choices, they had to redub all of his Vantica lines after filming because originally he was too Bela Lugosi.
Oh my
Bleh.
god.
I
So
wish
it was
they kept
worse.
that. Because at least it would have been fun. I am Vantica! Now, I hope someone somewhere has retained that footage and it is online.
I'm guessing it's like someone definitely has it, and they're like, "Listen, we know what you did. We have the tape. You better give us the money."
Yeah, man.
I feel bad
fuck.
for this bitch who's been chasing this fucking guy around. What's his name?
Vantica.
The guy's name is Vantica. The
Vantica.
security guard's name is Tai Kajata.
Yeah, Tai Kajata, Taekwondo. She fucking has been chasing this guy for fucking 30 years.
And she looks 30 years old.
Well, maybe she's a trill.
Yeah,
I
there you
mean, we
go.
don't know. This could be
But-
a long-lived species.
Oh, that's
Doesn't
very-
sound like it. They need this magic herb to
Maybe-
not
maybe
all
they've been-
go extinct.
Maybe it's a
Mm.
magic
Maybe they've
herb.
been amending their DNA to live longer, and that's why their shit's
Oh,
breaking
maybe.
down.
That actually could make sense.
But anyway, so
a real
sorry.
F. Murray Abrams situation.
Mm.
No, I just feel like, she's been chasing this dude for, all of her life, it looks like. Shows up at fucking DS9 and they sort it in 6 hours? That's gotta sting.
Yeah,
She
well,
helped.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Actually, no.
really,
they,
the guy kind of offed himself by
Mm.
setting fire to the ship that was transporting him.
Well, but it was all part of the plan.
What was this
wasn't
fucking?
it?
I don't know if it was.
His plan
plan-
hinged on them getting rescued.
He's Voldemort. That was his plan. He's got Horcruxes and shit, and he's got little minions in the background doing his dark bidding. He's fucking Voldemort.
Also, here's another thing about this show. So far, we've heard so fucking much about the Gamma Quadrant. How fucking amazing the Gamma Quadrant is. And I'm assuming that the cold open, they are in the Gamma Quadrant.
I don't know.
You get
'Cause-
there, it's like a fucking strip mall
No.
and Denny's. That's it.
No, they've been somewhere, but the shipment of whatever was coming from the Gamma Quadrant.
Mhm.
So this species is from the Alpha
So
Quadrant.
that makes no fucking sense to me, because they say that the Federation was giving supplies of deuterium or whatever, duridium, to these aliens.
The Kobliads.
So why did it come on a ship from the Gamma Quadrant if this was something that the Federation was giving?
Well,
them?
I presume, because it sounds like it's really rare. Maybe they found a decent-sized
Yeah,
deposit
that
of
was
it in the
my
Gamma
assumption.
Quadrant.
So it was
They
a
bought it on
Federation
eBay
ship?
and they had to get it
Yeah.
shipped over.
Oh, you see, that's the thing. Because the design of the ship didn't look Federation, but the bridge was all Federation.
Yeah,
which I
and
just
it
thought was some
staffed completely by humans.
was some lazy shit, but they weren't Starfleet. They were just some
No,
shitheads.
private concern. Maybe.
Freighters.
So, but they all had Federation computers and shit on there.
Yeah, it's
Spaceship.
yeah.
It just seemed like some lazy ass stuff that they were like, "Fuck, we need to do
Little
an
bit.
episode." Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't hate this one, but I was definitely like, yeah, this is Fine, it's here. It's forgettable.
Yeah, I was reading about the guy Morgan Gendel who did the inner light and the Starship Mine and all those things. Because I think he commented like, yeah, you can see it's kind of the thing I like doing because I like doing thought experiments where what if in your brain something else is going on than what you think is going on?
What if Jean-Luc Picard, but John McClane?
Yes. And
that was great.
And in the original concept, Vantiga would be the one that Kajada would possess. So as a cop, she would literally be hunting down herself.
See, that would have been an actual twist.
Yeah.
And actually interesting in this show.
I've got to admit,
but you want to give more to your actual characters.
I did spend a lot of the episode thinking, because my first thought was, he did some kind of psychic transfer when he was choking out Julian. But then I second guessed myself, like, or is he in the cop? But then everyone was like, he's in the cop! And I was like, oh, nope, he's in Julian.
No, they could not have been more transparent with the fact that Julian was the killer all along.
There was a little while where I was like, wait a minute, what if it's like Piglet and he's just in the computers?
Oh.
That's kind of what I think I thought.
I think also for a hot minute, I thought, until they actually contacted the homeworld, like, maybe she actually was the criminal the whole time and he'd been the policeman.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But then, like, they called up and it's like, all right, so that's
that
wouldn't,
dead. And that wouldn't have had some weird supernatural element to it.
No.
Or Does it need to have a supernatural element?
So speaking of supernatural elements, so they make reference to
Vulcans?
To Katras.
Yeah.
By calling it, what do they call it? Like
ganglial something or other.
Like synaptic imprinting.
Something like,
yeah, that sounds right.
It was something like that, and which I actually liked that because the whole Katra, remember, like that whole thing just seems very supernatural in Star Trek,
or very religious or something,
very
right?
Vulcan.
Like if it's like a Vulcan thing, and this is the more scientific.
The idea that that what the Vulcans are doing is actually some kind of science thing, and it's not just literally Spock's spirit lived inside
I hear they
Vulcans.
like science.
So I like that they kind of retcon that. Of course, Discovery shits on that idea later by making Katras just fucking magical.
Well, no, it's quantum entanglement.
Oh, right, because that's how that works at all.
Look.
They flew around the sun to travel back in time.
It's what
there's that.
In the 60s, if you wanted to hand wave science, it was radiation. In the early 2000s, it was DNA stroke genetics. Now it's
wibbly
quantum,
wobbly, timey, fucking whiny.
I mean, yeah, it's lazy, but I mean, if you're gonna get mad at Star Trek, we're gonna get mad at a lot of people for it.
Absolutely, and I do.
I find to get really mad at a lot of things.
That's Jake's secret. He's always angry.
I do find that anytime a piece of fiction just invokes the word quantum for no reason, including Star Trek, it just seems really lazy to me.
Yeah.
Immediate jerk off hand motion.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's unfortunate what everyone fucking does now, right?
Yeah,
now.
oh yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the next one is.
The Enterprise E has quantum torpedoes.
What? That's one better than Photon.
I mean, sure is.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Let's talk about Odo.
Yes, please.
He gets angry that he's called a constable?
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
Well,
I don't know if that's this episode or the other one.
No, it's this one.
When they start talking, they start saying, "Oh, constable is a term of affection." He's like, "I don't fucking like it though." You call you that all the fucking time.
I thought that was actually his rank until this episode.
I thought he was just mad about it because he said something about don't think I didn't notice. It's cute or something. He calls it cute. I thought his problem was that he felt that they were trying to appease him by using the title because he was pissed off about fucking Lieutenant Meatloaf.
Well, I also think though that there's, it's one thing when it's your friend Kira calling you constable because it's a little joke between friends.
Is it a joke? What's a constable?
Because constable's an old time, it's
sheriff? Could they call him sheriff?
Oh no, constable's an old timey British term for cop.
For cop.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they
sheriff.
do there are cops in Britain that are called constables.
No, because a sheriff has a different sort of jurisdiction.
I think of it
Constables
more
have
like
funny bell hats and nightsticks.
Yeah, I
Odo
think,
has neither of those things.
Exactly. I
Odo
think
that's
the image that it conjures is that he's like some cop on the beat kind of guy where he finds that belittling.
Well, though the thing is, I think it's all they ever, like, even from here on out, like, that's just what they call him.
Yeah, like I said,
as far as I can tell, that is actually his official rank.
I have in Star Trek timelines, one of the actual traits a character can have is constable.
Yeah. So according to the dictionary, constable is either one, a peace officer with limited policing authority, typically in a small town,
Or is responsible.
or two, the governor of a royal castle.
Sheriff.
No, sheriffs tend to have
Sheriff of a
county
royal
authority.
county.
Sheriffs tend to have,
How many
spurs on their
castles?
shoes.
Like a constable, like a policeman, tends to have jurisdiction within a specific city. Sheriffs tend to have county jurisdictions.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why do you know that?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
At least in the United States, that a sheriff has, like, county-wide jurisdiction.
I mean, obviously the only boys that matter.
Then you have-
We're talking about
Sheriff.
space,
Then you have-
Chris.
Did not shoot the...
deputy.
Then you have state police.
Constable.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's actually, a lot of people know, there's also federal police, which have regional authority.
Like marshals?
No, it's not quite the same as a marshal. That's something else.
Like Texas Rangers.
So here's the thing about Odo.
Yes.
He's none of these things, because he's never, like, trained to do anything. He's just there and the guy who likes fighting things, so they let him do it.
Well, we do find out later that he's been the chief of security since it was a Cardassian station. Like
That doesn't give him much authority over the Bajorans and things, though. They
no,
should kick him out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, he's basically a collaborator in a lot of ways. Like, and this becomes an issue later, so...
No, come on.
Like, well, he worked for the Cardassians, but the Bajorans liked him, so they were like, you can stick around. And it seems like
he was probably nicer than the Cardis.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the thing about Odo is that he's all about the justice.
Yeah.
For him, it doesn't matter if he's not racist. Whether he's working for the Cardassians or for the Bajorans or for Starfleet, like, he has an unimpeachable sense of justness.
Speaking of unimpeachable, should we start, making bets now? I mean, make it
See if we can do
happen
it
by
again.
magic.
Actually, we've done this twice, so maybe we conjured the Trump presidency.
Oh God, we did, didn't we?
Then we conjured Mooch getting the fuck out.
And
But actually, didn't we also talk about the impeachment actually starting,
maybe.
Chris?
I don't remember.
But you always roll that beautiful bean footage. You're the one that hears it.
There's been so much.
Okay,
Life is hard.
that's fair.
Yeah.
And Odo doesn't get along with Primin.
Oh yeah. So
Does
that's
he have a security team
Primin-
on the station?
I think he does, but I think they're all Bajorans.
Yeah, he tends to order around the Bajoran security people.
And they like it.
You can tell right away that Primin is a tight ass because he zips his jumpsuit all the way up.
Yeah, they do a good job of making him seem like a real toady.
He just feels like a mall cop.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right?
And not a good
like,
one.
But really, Odo is
The mall cop.
literally the mall cop. Literally, his job is to patrol the promenade and make sure,
my promenade!
harass Quark.
No, he harasses Quark just because he likes it.
Well, yeah, but that's what he does, He's, so, and where this is a Starfleet shipment of very volatile, dangerous chemicals, it kind of makes sense that they'd have a Starfleet security guy there.
But it also kind of makes sense that he would bristle that someone else was coming onto his promenade and
Yeah,
having
but
all
he should fucking
security and
grow the
shit.
fuck up and put on his big boy bucket.
Well, he did once Cisco sucked his dick a little first.
Who's in charge? You're in charge. Good boy, get out there,
Odo
buddy.
actually comes off like a little bit of a bitch, right?
Odo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. Primin...
He's like, I quit. He's like a diva. He's
Ugh,
like,
my resignation.
this is the new.
And
And I'm here for it.
and of course at the end they make it such that Primin learned a thing or two from Odo and used it to solve the thing before it was an issue.
Good job, Primin.
That was the one thing that surprised me in this episode, I think,
Primin was competent?
that it turned out that there was a brief moment where I was like, oh shit, Primin's working with
I thought Primin was bad.
the mercenaries
briefly, too.
because he was supposed to be fixing something or
Something,
patrolling the docking
Docking
ring and wasn't. And I was like, oh shit, maybe he's the one that's sabotaging the station. But
That's why he wants to be in control over Odo to make sure Odo doesn't catch on.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is I am looking forward to the next, 6.5 seasons of Primin and Odo's relationship as it develops.
Yeah, no, we get one more episode with this guy.
Thank God, I hate his guts.
Then Miles is back and we'll be upset for a different reason.
Wait, one more after the one we watched today, like the 2 we watched today?
I don't think he shows up again after Move Along Home. He might, I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
really don't remember. I've seen this series all the way through a few times.
And you always forget that
And
the whistle shows up.
I always forget this episode exists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, oh, right, this one. And I always forget that Primmett exists.
Mm.
There's another character that appears later in the series that is the same fucking thing exactly, but is done way better and is way more interesting. So I look forward to that. Like, and when I say the same exact thing, down to Odo doing a whole I'm resigning because this guy's stepping on my toes.
That's a little less Odo, a little more Grover.
Grover, like from Sesame Street?
Yeah, the blue one.
Happy 50th anniversary, Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. Now for HBO subscribers.
Yeah, that's... I know this is not a Sesame Street podcast.
It's not?
But, like... It so flies in the face of what Sesame Street was about.
Blame the government for cutting funding to
so
public broadcasting.
And that's the truth. So it's actually, in a weird way, the best thing possible, because the alternative was going to be probably it got canceled.
Yeah.
I know.
So the fact that, yes, it's paywalled for a few months, like they air on HBO.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so it eventually is free to watch.
Eventually, they do release it on
PBS
or the.
So yeah, I mean, it sucks, but don't blame them. Blame this government that refuses to fund public broadcasting.
It's a
and
compromise.
being 3 months behind, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be doing topical jokes on Sesame Street.
Yeah, and let's
semi-topical.
But here's
We've
the thing.
always done topical
but
jokes
it's topical
on
within
Sesame
a
Street.
range.
The
of
children it's aimed at are not going to give a fuck.
Yeah, it's the
they
parents
just want
that
to
are
see
forced
Elmo.
to.
there was a really good Game of Thrones joke once.
Yeah,
and I was like,
Game of Chairs. It was great.
The children aren't appreciating
No,
this.
Who was
Oh.
in it? Cersei was there, right? Didn't Hannah Letty? Whatever.
Hedy Lamar.
No, that's not it.
Lena Headley?
Yeah, there we go.
But I don't think... Was she in it? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I'm making it up.
I never saw it. But yeah, no, like
They were just Muppets.
yeah, they don't even...
Oh, I thought they had real actors from the show.
Children don't understand that they're even new episodes. They'll watch the same one 1,000 times until the tape wears out.
Can confirm. I was that kid.
God, that's the worst part of being a parent now. Tapes don't wear out.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just digital and
DVDs
DVD.
now.
That shit doesn't wear.
Yeah,
You know what
Justice has
really-
made this complaint.
You know what
I don't
really?
know how many times he's watched Coco now.
Well, what really fucks up a DVD that you couldn't do so easily with a tape is when you just snap the fucking thing in half and throw it out the window.
No, the trick is you can just the kid will just make you watch it on Netflix and it won't go anywhere.
Yeah,
Fuck,
that's the
never
worst.
let the kid know you have Netflix. That was your first mistake. I mean, well, no, having the kid was the first mistake. The
Agreed.
second mistake is letting them know about Netflix.
Don't share your Netflix password with your children, people.
Yeah.
No, ever.
Actually, my parents have mine, so it's the other way around.
It's role reversal. It's like they always
Okay,
said.
boomer. I wonder if that joke will still be topical when this thing airs.
Yeah, who knows?
Probably.
That's basically the N word for old people. So,
So it's the B word.
Damn.
It's so stupid. It's like, but you won't say the N word, so you know somehow that it's not
Yeah,
even
exactly.
remotely
If it
equivalent.
were
like,
the N word, you would be okay saying it.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
So my final note on this episode
Let him kill Bashir? Yeah.
was we're just gonna end on that note, huh?
What note?
Like it just literally ends with one unilaterally being like, "I'm gonna shoot this thing now. This guy's definitely for deads. See ya."
Yeah.
Didn't they? But they found another one of his Katras under a different fingernail. They could put him in somebody else if they want to.
Now it's in,
He'll live
now,
forever.
Now it's in Dax, and it's getting real crowded. In
But
there.
it's so weird because they blow up the puck, and Julian and Dax both make kind of a that was awkward, like almost borderline comedy expression face.
Oh, I thought it was because it
And
was
then
around
we
all the
end.
machinery.
No, I think it's because she just killed a guy.
I also
He was already dead.
Well,
here's the
yeah,
thing. I also feel like here's the thing. That poor woman, is going to be institutionalized in a matter of months.
Oh,
as,
yeah.
like, she will be seeing that guy
everywhere. Yeah, no.
Because, like, there was absolutely zero reason until the shady shit started happening on the station. There was zero reason to suspect that he was still alive.
Well, yeah, except that she had seen him fake his death before.
Yeah, but this was a
But
whole
Yeah, but
new
his
level.
body was still alive.
This is his
it was
body
always the
is
same
cold
body.
and autopsy
And
she's
stabbed.
still, and like
she stabbed it.
something goes wrong on the station. She's like, he's done that before. It's him. He's not dead. It's like,
Yeah, every time this
It's
woman's
raining. There's been rain when he was alive. We're fucked.
every time a light bulb goes out of this poor woman's house, she's gonna scream.
oh, you're here. Fuck.
Oh my god, the poor thing. Don't make me laugh about that.
Look, she did it to herself.
But like, yeah, like she's gonna need some
She didn't,
serious.
though. The guy was
She
actually
did
there.
not.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because like it's like
Jesus.
she's like
She
it's
was
like
right.
everyone's going after her like, listen, you're just being incredibly paranoid, and then it turns out her paranoia was right.
Well, it's just like last week when, Bashir was encouraged to continue with his bad behavior and follow women to their bedrooms
Yeah.
after he says not to because he saved Dax that time.
Yep.
Now this poor bitch is like, he's everywhere and I know it's true because it happened that time on that spaceship. Star Space Station. There you go.
Blah, Inventica! I mean, all your light bulbs!
I really want that. I want, but I also want to be like the voice of the Count.
Did he try to plow the cop? Bashir?
Almost certainly.
It sort of seemed like he was.
He did try to call her late at night, and when she'd used her alpha
Yeah, but
with him.
was that the bad guy just trying to kill her, maybe?
Maybe.
Something?
No, because he remembered making the call. He wouldn't remember making the call if he'd been Vantica at that point.
I mean, that's what he says. What he
No,
got-
that's what Dax said.
Well, whatever. I'm gaslighting them both.
Anyway, do we also care enough about Bashir yet for Cisco to not say, all right, blow yourselves up?
Well, we don't, but he does.
Does he?
There's paperwork to fill out if
dick.
one of your people dies. Especially if he's your CMO.
I just want to say that the candle you have burning makes me think that there's some kind of maple syrupy treat somewhere in the house, and it's very upsetting.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Where's our candle?
It's on the table.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it smells like a maple syrupy treat.
I don't
Yeah,
have a nose.
I want some Eggo waffles now.
Ooh.
We're gonna stop on the way home and grab some Eggo waffles. FYI.
And an ice cream cake.
No, I'm gonna save myself for when Jake's buying the ice cream cake.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Get the good one. Don't get that Heath one. I got the Heath one once.
I'm gonna get Carvel. I'm gonna go.
That was a Carvel.
I
don't
want.
think that was.
Here's
It
the
was
thing.
a Carvel.
What?
I want plain old Carvel with
Fudgy
the
the
vanilla.
motherfucking wheel.
I want the vanilla and the chocolate and the crunchies. That's
We're
what
gonna
I
get
would
the
like,
baby
please.
fucking wheel.
Baby fucking wheel. Oh my god. Did you guys see there was this thing going around fucking Facebook about the ocean sunfish? Because that's what that baby fucking wheel was. It was the thing called an ocean sunfish. It's this woman's fucking epic Facebook rant about how these mola mola fish are the most fucking useless things. They literally lay 1 million eggs at a time, but almost none of them survive. They can only eat jellyfish that accidentally float into their mouths. It's fucking hysterical.
They are the worst.
They literally.
How did they get so big?
Dumb luck.
Yeah, literally, it's there are so many of them that they can't go extinct because there's literally 1 million eggs per,
That's
birthy
funny.
squirt. And birthy squirt. Never
You know
saying
what we
that again.
totally
Yikes.
forgot to do last week with the Vash episode? What was in that little lamp?
A baby fucking wheel?
A baby fucking wheel!
Oh, see,
it was-
I thought it looked more like a manta ray.
Yeah, it was kind of stingray-y.
Yeah,
but
but
still,
you know.
it was sea life.
It was a baby.
It was sea life. You're right. I didn't even think of that.
Damn.
Brilliant.
Fucked up.
All right. Well, you just said it, so now Chris
You
can
know who
go
else
back.
fucked up? Whoever wrote Move Along Home.
Oh, yeah. So,
What a
all right.
terrible
Well, let's
episode.
jump over to that one then. So, next episode, Move Along Home.
It was two women that wrote it.
So, in this episode, Jake Sisko is discovering women.
No relation.
Oh, God, I hate it. I hate
There's a
this.
whole opening scene. We spend a lot of time talking about how Jake Sisko is going to get the talk from his dad, how he shouldn't be hanging around with Nog because they go and hang out in the promenade and
And
look at
Nog is probably
Smoke-
banging women by now.
checking out broads. It turns out
Smoking
Nog.
cigarettes
Turns out
and-
Nog is 40 and is in elementary school for some reason. So yeah, it starts out as this going to be this sort of coming of age father son bonding thing.
Gonna teach him how-
Record screech moment.
Get into your dress uniforms, everyone!
That plot completely dropped.
Thank God.
We're going to be doing a first contact with a new species. Record screech, that plot completely, 50% dropped. Because it turns out that this new species, the Wadi, they're just...
What do you want to play today?
Yeah, they're just big, goofy dorks that all they want to do is play games.
I know a lot
hate
of people
them.
like that.
Where are the games?
So they bring.
shit,
So naturally,
buddy.
they bring them to Quark's, and
They ask for him by name.
yeah, and Quark is showing them how to play Dabo, and they're having a great time, and they're winning lots of money. And then Quark gets greedy and starts cheating them, and they catch him cheating, and then they're like, "Fine, you're going to play our game," which you can't, which is an honest game. And he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll play your game." So they play the game, and they transform Quark's Dabo table into their weird upside-down pyramid game. Chula.
The MLM game.
You know what Chula is?
It is the home planet of the Jaffa.
Whatever you're thinking now. It's short. The writers based a lot of the game off of Chutes and Ladders. So, Chula.
Oh God! So
This just got worse.
it's 3D.
Shakari.
So it's 3D shoots and ladders, but here's the twist. Instead of you have 4 players, but instead of being just little tokens as they appear on the board, in reality, the 4 humans, 4 people, because only 2 of them are humans. Cisco, Dax, Bashir, and Kira get magically transported inside the game, which we think is running inside a room full of light on the alien
that was
ship.
Confusing.
But anyway,
So it's like holodeck Jumanji.
It's like holodeck Jumanji, exactly. But so then they have to go through these kind of puzzles, not really stupid things. Like I guess they're puzzles through this game. They have to play hopscotch with a child. They have to go to a party and drink a drink. They have
How is that even like a trick? Like,
I don't know. They have to dodge some floating orbs, and then finally they have to cross a chasm, I guess. But meanwhile, Quark just thinks it's a game, because he doesn't see them. He just sees the little tokens on the board. So
and has no idea why he's winning.
it really is like Jumanji.
Yeah, like he's like rolling dice and things are happening and his characters are moving, but he has no there's no understanding. I don't understand what how the game is played because it's just happening.
And also, it feels like they should have won, and apparently they didn't win.
Well, they didn't win.
They fell onto a chasm.
Yeah, they died.
Oh.
So the thing is, if you die in the game, you're out. Your character is out of the game, and Quark has to make it to the 6th. Is it the 6th?
True.
Whatever until the
Shap
before and with all of his players. But of course, right in the very last moment,
of his players.
very last moment. The 3 remaining after Bashir dies all fall into a chasm and die until turns out it was all just a goof. Just a goof, guys.
It's just a game.
It's just a game. Just a prank, bro. So yeah, Quark, who by this time has figured out that it's his friends, or his maybe not friends, but people.
He likes Jedzia.
Business associates.
His associates and Jadzia.
Well, yeah, but he's just another one that fucking creeps on her.
Yeah,
so.
he is.
So by now
But we
he's figured
expect
it
that.
out.
He's
So
a
he's starting to sweat a little.
It's racist.
Odo's not
We've
feeling
seen
so
him
good about
creep
it,
on
and
women.
the Quark's understanding throughout this is that no, if they die in the game, they die in real life. But
Well, because they've been super cryptic about it, like,
Yeah.
oh, you double their
But
peril
then-
and shit. Like, oh fuck.
But then they all show up safe and sound, and Quark's like, "I won," and they're like, "No, you lost, dumbass." And he's like, "But they're all alive," and they're like, "Yeah, the people are alive, but they died in the game, so you lose, Buster." And
I said good day, sir.
and then Quark is like, "Oh, thank God. Oh, maybe I can make money off of this," And then everyone else is like, "Oh, Quark."
This episode is terrible.
Why?
There's
because
no
it did
comeuppance
not
from it all.
end with Cisco and Kira taking turns beating the smug out of the head Wadi. Like, I get that Quark, was partially responsible for this, but they are the ones that kidnapped 4 people against their will. Well, I guess you can't kidnap someone with their will. Kidnapped 4 people and then made them play this stupid game without any explanation as to how dangerous it was or wasn't. Like, that man needed an ass whooping. Prime Directive be damned.
Well, sure, but if someone was like, "Here, come play this game," and it turned out it was like a fucking reality, whatever the fuck, a
VR.
virtual reality game, you wouldn't assume that you were going to die from the VR game. You would assume...
But they didn't
this
know...
is a game and you're a person.
Because there's some weird new aliens they've never met. They don't know exactly what's going on.
But they, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, it's a pretty weird, paranoid conclusion to jump to, that we live in a future where all this shit is possible and holodecks and whatevers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I also thought they were going to die in the game and die in real life until Bashir died, and I was like, well, I know you're not going anywhere.
So that's the thing. That is how they fucked this up, is by having the 4 players be all 4 main characters. Really what they needed was 3 main characters.
And Pig Whistle.
And Pig Whistle. Or Pig Whistle or any red shirt. You know, I mean, I guess a red shirt wouldn't have made it. Pig Whistle would have been a good choice because you don't need him around.
And they could have really killed him.
And they could have really killed him because then if it's Bashir that dies, you're like, okay, yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But if it's Pig Whistle, you're like, oh wow, they just introduced that guy last week. I guess he's done.
Yeah.
And then it really ups the stakes for the other characters. But as it was, I was like, okay, yeah, there's no stakes right now because I know they're not killing off 4 main characters this episode.
Right.
Yeah. But Ames, you were trying to...
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking the Wadi are doing, because this is also a first contact event, even though we technically have had one with the Tosk, but we didn't act like it was a first contact event because Cisco was on the rag that day or something.
Well, this was an expected first contact.
Okay.
Tosk.
Well, and because O'Brien was, like, just flagrantly disregarding the rules about first contact, but...
For all the right reasons.
For all the right
So-
reasons, absolutely.
So I think of this kind of as the Wadi's way of getting to know people. By, they like games. They see a lot of, like, how people work through game playing. And I like thinking of it as a way that they're seeing how humans and Bajorans and how people from the Alpha Quadrant handle their scenarios to get to know them as a species.
Interesting.
I still would just... No.
So
Do not take me out of my bed without my consent.
What happens when they go to when the Wadi show up at a planet that engages in blood sport?
Oh,
and they're like, "Show us your games," and they're like, "All right."
I hope they go to Kronos next.
Mm.
Oh, get sliced to ribbons. I hated them so much.
Yikes!
I detested these people.
They're so non-threatening. Why the fuck are
Yeah,
you so?
I don't know. I like the women's hair was kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't even notice the hair. I hated their stupid forehead makeup drawing things.
I liked
Tattoos.
I liked how they like all
like
they
trail
have
highlight
to
things?
offer is just trash.
Yes.
Like,
sticks.
yeah, we got some sticks.
It's not even
we
good
got
gems. They're like rough
some
hewn.
gross juice and some rocks.
Yeah, but maybe for them that juice is like a serious delicacy, and maybe those sticks are
Yeah, they were trying.
Like I
They were
said, on
trying
their
to
home
They
world,
were
it's-
explaining what the sticks were for, and Quark was like, just like he
Yeah.
was in the episode with
They were just
Vash.
banging them
I've got
together.
plenty.
Yeah, he was like, I don't care what it's for. It doesn't look shiny enough for me. So
Yeah, it's
fuck
not
it.
something it's not worth a damn thing in the Alpha
Seriously, he
Quadrant.
probably had the cure to like every disease in the fucking known world right there in those sticks, and he was like, it doesn't sparkle. Dip it in glitter and we'll talk.
I don't know. I look at this episode and because I know that it's one of the ones that's supposed to be like the worst of DS9 and all this thing. And when I finally realized it was this episode that we were watching this week, and I realized, wait a minute, I've seen this episode. This is Move Along Home? This is the episode everyone hates? There's like the only thing bad about this episode is they spend too much in that cave.
Oh, that scene was endless. That's one of my notes.
Which
The cave scene is too long, but like it's not
The cave scene towards the
It's
end.
barely hateable. It's not I expected like a Miri or something.
See, the thing is, this isn't one of the worst episodes of DS9.
No, not even close.
This
The
is
last
one of
week's
the
episode
worst.
was worse.
This is one of the worst episodes of TOS.
Oh.
This feels like a bad TOS episode to me. Like, we've been magicked into a scenario. In your mind, swap
It's
them
cat's
out.
paw.
Yeah,
It's
swap them out with Kirk, Spock, Doc, and I guess Scotty, and you could totally see it.
It's the Gamesters of Triskelion, except there's zero stakes.
Yeah, but they don't know that. But we know that, but they don't.
Well, also it's nice to see that what Quark does when he thinks there are stakes is you kind of see what happens when he's backed up against a wall.
Yeah, it was a good.
He
It was.
caves immediately.
This was a good Quark development episode.
Yeah,
I was surprised that he would do that. I mean, I'm sure he has some like kinship with these people, but it's like business is business, right?
Well, I think he also knows that Odo would nail his ass
Odo
to the
would
wall.
kill you.
I thought when it's like you have to kill one of them, or not even kill because they don't get killed. You have to remove one of them, and he's like, "Oh shit, one of them is probably Jadzia, and I
Yeah.
like her.
Yeah.
I don't know which one she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to do
Well,
it just in
the other
case.
thing, too, it didn't. There was some nonsense there because the guy said, "Oh, the computer will randomly remove one of them,"
Yeah.
but then it didn't.
No, they all just...
They all just
Yeah.
died. I thought.
Well, it's because the two saved the one that should have been sacrificed.
No.
It was their own choice, more or less.
So they lost the game for Quark.
Dax is way too ready to die, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Like, in Dax, she was ready to die
2 episodes in a
for
row.
fucking Curzon's... whatever.
Girlfriend. Fuck
And now
buddy.
this, she's... Just leave me! It's like,
I've
Are
already
you-
lived several
are
lives.
you okay, Jadzia? Has the merging not gone well?
Well, not just that. She's like, if the roles are reversed, I'd
I'd
leave
leave
you.
I like that.
I
like
don't
that a lot.
believe her for a minute.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
do.
Curzon.
You know these
Curzon wouldn't have-
Starfleet types.
Yeah?
Yeah, but she's got personalities in her that aren't Starfleet types.
True.
Welcome to the Curzone.
My other problem, and I think you were talking about this in the intro, Jake, but like, how the fuck does this game work? From the outside, you just roll dice and just kind of wait to see if something happens. Like, how does this game work?
Yeah,
If you know what's happening, like...
I'm guessing. Yeah, it's just never shown. Like there must be some interface to it.
But, yeah, like...
Yeah,
It's
the quirk
like
isn't
that-
shown, maybe?
It's that 3D battle chess where stuff dukes it out.
You know what it reminded me of? I was trying to remember what the name of it. Maybe you guys remember. Remember that old game show on like Nickelodeon where you would enter a
where
video
you're in
game?
the video game.
Yeah, what was that?
Nick Arcade.
Was that
Nick
really?
Arcade?
Are you sure?
Yeah, because they would play regular arcade games
Yes,
for the
yes,
chance to go into the game at the end.
It was that, and that looked fun.
I literally was just thinking about that when we started talking about this.
I feel like that game looked way funner than it probably was.
No,
yeah,
when
'cause
you were a kid, anything like that was
Like
fun.
you're in the game, and it's like no, you're just standing in front of a green screen.
Well, that's the thing, like,
kid.
for the kid actually playing, it sucked.
Oh,
They
yeah.
basically had to be a weatherman, stand at the green screen and look at themselves on a
and like
monitor and
That's
kind of
still fun.
bat at a non-existent coin.
Well, and also, who gives a shit if you won and got to do that 3-minute run through the KB toys or whatever? That's the fucking balls.
yeah, that would be cool.
I still
feel
that.
like in terms of like final round, Legends of the Hidden Temple has it beat.
Yeah.
Fucking
Silver monkey.
The goddamn silver fucking
And the fucking
monkey.
molesters that they hide in the place.
Yeah, because like
We have
it's
definitely
almost-
had this conversation
I know,
on air before.
but I have a new point, which is most of the time they don't even make it possible to have gotten enough medals to survive if you get hit by all the temple guards.
Yeah, it's the
They
point.
don't want to be giving away cruise vacations to
They don't
every.
give away. They give a fucking bike. It wasn't anything good. It was a bicycle for shit's
I
sake.
thought like the winners got like an actual decent gift,
think
and the bike was for like the
I
I think you're
consolation
thinking
prize.
of actual good
No, I
game
think that's-
shows that weren't for kids.
That's for like the 2 families that ever made it through the entire obstacle course.
Oh, Family
Double
Double
Dare.
Dare. That's
I
a
s-
fucking solid
I swear
game, too.
the reason they went from being double, because remember it was Double Dare first, and then the like family Double Dare episodes were like special occasional ones.
We need some fat old dads to not be able to do the
Well, that's
obstacle
it. I
course
think
so
they
we stop
realized.
losing.
I think they realized they would lose the obstacle course more often if the parents were involved.
they also really cut down on like the sliming of people when they went to Family Double Dare. Like I remember,
Well,
like
that was probably because of Mark
like
Summers.
Like no,
because he'd always been there.
no,
no, but
he
Mark
had-
Summers was also on what would you do, which was also a big
what would you
slime
do?
and pie
yeah,
fest.
but he had seriously awful OCD.
Well, I know, but
No, you know what it was? They
so does Howie Mandel, and he was in Little Monsters, where like he had to
Oh,
eat
I
boogers
don't
and
know
stuff.
anything about
They-
that, but
you
I
know,
do
it was-
know he shaved all his hair off.
They
so-
cut back on the slimy and family Double Dare because the reason they slimed the kids so much was so they'd be slippery during the obstacle course. But now they had the fat old dads. Anyway, this isn't what we're here for.
They didn't want the fat old dads to slip and fall and break their shit, so they had to
Right.
cut down on the slime.
So you can
Point
tell.
is, I would totally play Chula
I would play it too.
Here's the thing. I would play it,
voluntarily.
yes, but what pisses me off is the kidnapping aspect.
The lack of consent.
Like that's
aspect.
why I'm like Ben should have gotten a shot in, and Kira. Also, we can tell Pig Whistle's had some character development.
Primin. Can we call him Primin?
Primin has had some character development because he has slightly unzipped his jumpsuit. Because last week he was zipped all the way up. Now he is unzipped down to the black.
Well, it's because he and Odo are bosom buddies
But does he?
now.
He only appears in that one scene.
Yeah, to go Constable Odo. In that weird voice of his.
Sorry, what?
He, like, put on a voice. He's like, Constable Odo. He even, like, kind of does.
Was he making fun of O'Brien?
I don't know, maybe.
Was he like, he was like, Odo, listen to this. Oh, hoity toy. Oh, Constable Odo, isn't it? Oh, Jesus.
And then
Odo was-
And O'Brien's like, what are you guys laughing at?
No,
They're
the
just like,
audience
you're back.
they're probably like, maybe the audience won't notice that it isn't O'Brien.
But yeah, Priven.
Kato hasn't.
And it's also.
oh,
He again
nailed it.
objects to being called Constable, but only briefly.
Odo.
But yeah,
tight
so
ass.
Odo.
yeah, there's apparently no sensors on the station that detect when someone vanishes, which I guess that's not terribly typical. We never see that on other ships.
Yeah, no, they usually have to ask where somebody is.
But,
Computer, where the fuck is this dude?
Also, we
Don't
already.
know.
No idea. No
And even if
fucking
that
clue.
had been a thing on ships before, they established a few weeks ago that, like, the sensors here kind of suck.
Yeah, the
They're not
Cardis,
as
they
good as
really
Federation
trashed
ones.
the place on the way out, you know?
So I don't think it was a holodeck because they said that
It was like a transporter.
it was like a transporter
beam
buffer.
thing.
So like maybe they were
They're from the Gamma Quadrant. They certainly have all kinds of crazy tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how when Odo opened the door on the ship, it was like the fucking the hole in the wall in Poltergeist.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
This house is clean.
So, Ames, maybe you came across a note I forgot I had. Was, like, did they just have that whole thing about Bashir... Why is I say Bashir so weird? Bashir forgetting his dress uniform because they didn't have time to make him one in the real world?
Oh, they never said.
Because it was just so random. It's like,
Yeah,
we
I
get
never-
it, guys. You didn't have the
I
budget.
never noticed. I just
No, it's
wondered
'cause
why
he's-
he didn't replicate one.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, too. It's like Cisco should just be like, just go replicate. that.
Yeah, no, it's like they just clearly didn't have time. What's stupid is, like, the Netflix description for this episode is literally Captain Cisco in dress uniform is waiting to meet the first delegation from the Gamma Quadrant.
Did they-
Whole thing.
Did
Whole
they
description.
mix up their descriptive text with their...
A summary? Yeah, that's a
Summary?
good
Like,
question.
that's
So
really
now-
weird.
what was the point of the Jake Sisko subplot?
Just to remind you that he has a kid and he's
Well,
going
yeah,
to
I
have
mean,
dad
they have-
moments.
But like, it does seem, they set that up to be a possible B plot, and it literally the only reason it ever comes up again is because Jake is like, oh
Where's
yeah,
Dad?
was supposed to have the sex talk with me today, and instead of being like every other kid would be like, thank fucking God,
I
he
just
goes
went
to
and got it
Odo
from
to be
Nog
like,
instead.
Odo, I'm missing my sex talk.
That's the thing. It really could have just
Please give it to me
And
yourself.
Odo's like, oh, well, notice me to give it to you, Jesus.
like they really didn't need that thing because Jake could have just reasonably been like, my dad is missing, we always have breakfast together.
Yeah, no, we always have sex talks on Saturday. Could it be because... So, Nog has Cisco's innocence, or Jake Sisko's innocence in his hands, and now Quark has the life of the crew in his hands, huh? Huh? Was it a parallel?
Not
Big
intentional,
parallel.
but I'll take it, sure.
Listen.
I do
I
get
think they needed about 5 minutes to
yeah.
cram.
I kind of like how
what?
Odo...
They needed about 5 minutes to film.
I gotta admit, I like the way Odo dealt with it. There's like, yes, gonna go look at the girls, eh? That's what you solids do. And then he's like, go run along, I'll deal with this.
Go
and then
move
Jake
along
leaves.
home.
Yeah, Jake leaves and he's like, oh, fuck, that boy's dad is dead. Like, I like the fact that we do learn through this that for all these kind of a hard ass and weird, Odo does have tact when he needs to. Like, he was dealing well with a kid. He's like, I'm gonna act like this is no big deal around him. You go run along. Yeah, his dad's dead.
You're an orphan. Sorry, buddy.
I'll try not to giggle when I tell him.
Oh, poor.
Yikes.
Yeah, Odo has really grown on me in the last couple weeks.
He's amazing.
He's just really funny.
I forgot how great he was.
And the thing is he has like the same great cranky banter with everybody. It's like I love him especially with Quark, but like even the way he's a little bitch with Sisko is hilarious, and like the way he deals with the kid is good, and like he's just such a cranky old bastard, and I love him.
Yeah, no, Odo's fantastic.
He's solid. He's my old man.
Well, no, he isn't. That's the problem.
He's a goo. Put him away.
A gabagoo?
Gabagoo.
Actually, I hurt myself slightly. I hurt myself slightly doing Data's comedy arm gesture.
Oh Jesus, that's why you don't do that.
I don't know why.
You gotta put that only in the hands of trained comedians. Otherwise, you hurt
I'm
yourself.
trying to think of a gabagool joke and I can't.
Awesome. Please don't.
Nice.
Ames is super honest today.
So
Ames is the Odo of our podcast.
He also hates fun.
Yeah, so we learned because Jake is just wandering around loose, that there's no class right now because Keiko isn't here, because Keiko is the only teacher that exists in the fucking station.
Yep. No one else could be bothered.
Yeah,
they were like,
everyone else is doing botany without Keiko.
This is really a PSA about, keeping kids off the street. Because if they're, if you let your kids out, they're going to bang women, and also you'll get trapped in a video game.
They're gonna bang women, and that's how you wind up having to make an honest woman out of Keiko. Nobody fucking wants that.
Oh, God.
So I ended up rewatching an old episode that I know Jake likes. That was part of the inspiration of this episode. An episode of The Prisoner called Checkmate.
Oh.
Which I know Jake is a big fan of The Prisoner. That the way Checkmate goes. If you haven't seen The Prisoner, Jesus fucking Christ. The Prisoner. He's trapped on this island, and in this episode, they make all the people dress up as chess pieces and play a game of chess with each other. And then shenanigans are afoot and other things happen. But anyway, the whole point was that they're human chess pieces. And I guess the women who wrote this episode were like, yes, but what if more games?
And what if we were slightly more subtle?
And they ended up
not by much.
They ended up researching a lot of other games. Apparently, like games from ancient Egypt and Rome and Elizabethan times, and also they were big fans of Chutes and Ladders. But in the end, it ended up looking an awful lot like D&D, which is fine.
Now that would be a better thing, is if it was set up more like an RPG type game, because presenting it as like a roll the dice and move game,
it doesn't make
a lot of sense with what's happening, in the game world.
Well, it depends on, what doors open for them, I guess, is what the dice rolling does.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then that means that like them getting through the obstacles has nothing to do with them and has everything to do with the roll of the dice.
But how fun would that have been if instead of this, if they're like, we'll show you a real game, and like it turned out to be like
they just play D&D
space
together?
D&D.
No, they just whip out a game of Munchkin.
Right, something like that, and like it was actually explained what was happening, and then we got to see, in the game world, the shit actually happening to our characters.
I feel like
but then Quark never learns his lesson.
Well, he might still learn his lesson because maybe at the beginning he thinks that it's just some goofy nerd game.
Fair.
He'd be right.
And then and then only later does he realize, oh shit, the characters I'm playing are actual people.
Oh shit! If my character dies, they don't come back. That's the thing about RPGs; they're cruel.
Yeah, there was also one of the most expensive DS9 episodes, just because of all the effects and sets and bullshit they had to do, and they had to cut back an awful lot in what they originally wanted because it would have been like way out of price range.
Is that how we got that fucking stupid giggling with wine glasses room? Because man, that was not a good puzzle. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, the puzzle was don't drink the food. Oh wait, drink the food.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, oh yeah, I'm on board. It's Greek mythology. That's how you get stuck there. Don't drink the food. Like, I was ready. And then it was like, oh wait.
Like, you drink the food and then you get into a laughing fit and don't want to leave.
So what I thought the key to getting out of it was to start fake laughing. Because something about the way you were, like, modulating your air would be important. I really did. This is really what I thought. I'm an
smart.
idiot.
I like that. No,
well, I mean, like, I like it better than, like, oh, drink the wine they're trying to have you drink. Like, that's not a fucking puzzle. That's, like, etiquette. Like, I don't... etiquette can be puzzling, kids.
It would have been great if the drink was actually that shitty drink that they tried to give Quark.
It's
And everyone's like, I don't want to drink it. I'd rather die.
Well, Dax, I was just going to say, Dax is like, no, go on without me. I won't drink that shit. And they're like, you big fucking baby.
Yeah, it really, like, honestly, it doesn't seem like that challenging a game, because if the players had not bothered to help Jadzia, they would have won. They would have been fine, because that was the last, the cave was the last room. So if they had just leapt across the cavern, and presumably when they're playing this on the Wadi homeworld, everybody knows it's just a game. Like, the only reason that this was a big problem was because our heroes also were under the impression that they were in real peril.
Was Jadzia's leg still busted when she got out of the game?
No, she was fine.
Was she?
No. So again, this doesn't really work because, the only children start at the first shap. Oh, okay. So the children have a harder version of the game where they have an extra level?
Well, you know what it is? It takes longer to tire them out so they'll go to fuck to sleep.
Maybe the first shaft serves as sort of a tutorial.
Maybe.
In some weird way.
That could work.
Has a little more hand-holding.
But then the fact, again, that, like, presumably if you're playing this with other Wadi, the people that are in the game know it's a game and are like, oh, yeah, don't worry, I'll just jump across that crevasse, I'll be fine. Double the power.
I mean, I think about how... Like, I mean, I don't know. What's the game? House on the Haunted Hill?
Betrayal?
Betrayal
at House on the Hill?
Betrayal at House on the Hill. There isn't even, like, a live-action type of aspect to it, but I still find that, like, once the betrayal happens and the game is on, I personally get really, like, wound up into it.
I'm sure it could still be a fun game, but I'm just saying, like, this game, was basically, 4 levels? I mean,
6.
Yeah, but we skipped 2. One or
We
two.
started at 2, and then Clark took a shortcut.
Right. So he could have taken more shortcuts. So I don't know. It seems like
3 levels, 3 or 4 levels. All I can remember is the fucking stupid ass fucking hopscotch. I couldn't think of the word for hopscotch.
Yeah, the hopscotch.
The hopscotch and the fucking dinner party, which apparently is a fucking. Maybe they're just all introverts on that planet and having to,
They could have made this like a scary one. They could have
a
like
different
a monster.
room. They had to have small talk, and they were like, ah!
I thought it would have been like a monster chasing them or something. Like, that would have been a cool way to get rid of Julian, is if instead of just an orb of light that just obliterates you,
The Gorn walks in.
if there was, it was like
in rubber mask.
It was like a monster chasing you.
What if it was a really... Go ahead, Chris.
Or he, like, just starts hitting on a woman and she explodes.
In fact, that would have been fucking great. So here's the thing, right? So maybe we don't... Okay, I'm going to rewrite Julian's death.
Good.
In this scene, our heroes are
Jadzia murders him.
walking down the hall.
And it's for real.
And somebody sees something out of the corner of their eye, and it's just a shadow. And they're like, oh shit, we're being stalked.
You're turning it into a horror
Well,
episode.
it is a little scary.
This is what I was thinking, too.
So
It's night terrors.
It's a little scary, but that's okay. And because, the Wadi are like, oh shit, you rolled a 2 and you're fucked now, boy. So we hear the thing and they're like, all right, everyone run. And they're like, we hear the monster and they get split up. And then we hear Julian yelling, which is a callback to when we first started the episode and Julian was just screaming for some reason.
Can you actually wake yourself up and from a nightmare by yelling?
You know what's interesting? I woke myself up from a nightmare the other night.
By
Did you?
farting?
I was having a dream and I don't remember most of what happened, but I do remember I was in a basement and out of in a lower section of the basement, I saw 2 lions milling around, and at that moment, I started lucid dreaming. I was like, oh fuck, this is a dream, and if I stay in the dream, the lions are gonna chase me. So I need to wake up right now. So in the dream, I closed my eyes, and then I woke up outside.
That's crazy.
Were you yelling?
I don't know, I wasn't yelling. I just woke myself up from the dream.
Mine is nowhere near as cool, but I definitely did something similar once. Where I was like, oh, this is a dream. And I woke up, because I think it was kind of a crappy dream.
I did a good one once where in the dream I realized, I was in a dream, and I wake up in bed in the dream, and I realized, no, this isn't right, because I woke up like in a hotel or something. It's like, no, I know for a fact I'm home. This is a dream. So I went back to sleep.
In the dreams.
But anyway, you were fixing Bashir's death first.
Yeah, so that's basically it. And then they find out that and then they turn the corner just in time to see him get devoured or vanish or something.
See, I prefer my version just because it's like he's hoisted by his own...
Petard.
Picard.
I was going to say boner, but...
Oh.
That doesn't rhyme with petard.
What was your version? What did he do?
He basically just sees a hot woman and starts hitting on her, and then she just explodes.
Oh.
Like she's just made of bombs.
Ooh.
Well, that really
And
would be a
it's like,
petard.
it's a normal woman, and he goes in for a kiss, and they do that, like, pan around thing, and she's literally like in a cartoon just made up of, like, stacks of dynamite and a big round cartoon bomb. And he's, like, kissing the bomb, and the wig falls off, and he's like, wait a mo.
You really crack you up.
Wow, Chris has gone full old man cackle right now. This is great.
Wait a mo. Sorry.
Yikes.
That's okay.
It's just so stupid.
I'm going to go on a different tangent.
Please do.
I'm going to go on a different tangent because I started thinking about this. Because Gamma Quadrant, right? This is our first contact with a species other than the Tosk and their hunters, whom we've seen from the Gamma Quadrant. Holy shit, this is fucking newsworthy shit. And they're humanoid. And why? They're they're humanoid-looking fuckers. But how is that a thing if The Chase is an episode and we determined that all humanoids came from the same people and it was only this clump?
Oh, did they not see to the whole galaxy?
The galaxy's enormous.
Yeah, but they were ancient and super...
Well, then why aren't people from the Gamma Quadrant part of the equation to figure out the fucking to watch the hologram potato lady?
Maybe. Maybe they started in the Alpha Quadrant and it just kind of spread.
Maybe they knew that species would take a while to go really, really far, so they like kind of clumped it in like 7 or 8
So there's
different...
another potato lady in the Gamma Quadrant waiting to be discovered?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody get Picard on the phone.
You know, there's
He'll,
one of the...
he'll solve it in an afternoon.
There's one in the Delta Quadrant. They gotta get one of those poofy hair fellas, and they gotta get a Neelix, and they gotta get a...
That's
no
not
one
a
needs
problem
a
with
Neelix.
this episode. That is a problem with The Chase.
That's true.
Which is
I have lots of problems with The Chase.
The Chase could very well be the worst
Written off.
episode of anything ever.
Yeah.
The Chase is just
I don't even
unmitigated.
remember. I don't remember the chase that much.
You
That's the one with the fucking...
Oh, it's when
it's
the
that really
Romulans,
shitty one
the
that
Romulans
sucked.
and the other dudes and
The
Jean-Luc Picard work together. and
Mary
shit.
Poppins Cardi.
We got an epic team up.
Yeah, that episode is stupid.
what was I just going to say?
Bless you. Can you catch a sneeze?
You didn't even list The Chase in your worst episodes.
That's
here,
true.
Jake.
That's true.
Its impact is...
It's just so dumb. It's only offensive in what it does.
It wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, you wrong though.
Yeah, no, I did not like this one.
I just feel like this felt like kind of a weird, lower budget, not as good, like sequel to the Goonies sort of thing, where it was like sort of a
without Chunk.
Or horrible Asian racism.
or
Wasn't
sloth.
Chunk the guy's name? The kid's name?
Yeah.
Chunk
fat
was
kid.
the fat kid.
Yeah.
Who does the truffle shuffle.
Well, because Cole Meany wasn't in this episode.
And there it is. Does anybody else have anything else to say, or are we good?
No, I thought this was bigged up for me as like so fucking bad. It's a joke how bad it is.
Like it's Spock's brain level of bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, this episode wasn't
it's
good.
dumb. It's kind of dumb,
But,
but
like,
it's inoffensive.
Yeah,
like,
it's
Spock's brain
watchable.
was far from the worst
It's-
episode of Star Trek, the original series, and this is far from the worst episode of DS9.
It's not as bad as I remember, but it's still probably my least favorite so far.
But I think, like Spock's brain, it
Too
is
less.
emblematic of a lot of the issues with, like, Spock's brain, while not the worst episode, is a very easy target because it just is so dumb.
It
Yeah.
barely
What is
tried.
brain?
Yeah, it's very easy to make fun of, and it's very easy to point to, look at how far Star Trek fell in its third season because it had this.
But there was so much good shit in the third season.
I agreed. And then this one, though, is like, man, look at how rough of a start Deep Space Nine goes. It's got the fucking hopscotch episode, you know?
But
I
honestly,
feel like-
I actually feel like this first season isn't that bad.
It's not that
No.
bad. And, like,
I've enjoyed
although
it.
I do think this was a week of weakness.
Yes.
Week.
This is probably like my least favorite week so
and
far.
I will
but-
say, during the hopscotch scene, Nana Visitor's face was definitely whoever wrote this episode should die.
Who?
Yeah.
Akira. Kira's actor.
Yeah.
I like her. She's spunky.
Yeah, I wish that, we haven't gotten a ton on her yet. I feel like we haven't gotten a good...
She did that thing with, what's his name, Ubudan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a great episode anyway.
I will say, one thing I did like was that, like, she's just... Okay, I'm glad you Starfleet people are having your weird adventure fun, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. I'm a fucking Bajoran administrator.
I'm a terrorist and soldier.
Yeah, my people are constantly getting tortured. I'm not into this.
Yeah. I'm not excited by weird. This is not what I do. I'm not an explorer.
I'm a fucking administrator.
How has she not punched Bashir out yet?
I do not
She
know.
probably has.
He just forgets about it the next day.
That's how hard she hits him.
Because he's like such a puppy. He's just such a dumb puppy.
He is a dumb puppy.
He wasn't actually asleep during the Q episode last week. He was just unconscious because Kira punched him.
Just so hard.
I thought you were going to say he was just tugging it the whole
He was actually on his way to take a nap, saw her, hit on her. She slugged him and dropped him in his bunk.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be in your bunk. Thank you. All right, speaking of things that are in your bunk.
Caitlin's bunk.
Not really.
Oh, boy. I'm just looking at the card. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Definitely in the bunk tonight.
Oh, dear. All right, well, this has been episode 150
Hell yeah!
of A Star to Steer Her By. Today we talked about a couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine, and next week, guess what? More episodes of Deep Space Nine. We'll talk about the Nagus, and Vortex. If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can certainly find A Star to Steer Her By. Lots of great places on the internet. You can subscribe to the podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, any app that you like where your favorite podcasts are sold. You can also find us on Facebook, search A Star to Steer Her By, or you can follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at SSHB Podcast. You can also visit our webpage at sshbpodcast.com. But right now it just directs to Tumblr, so whatever. If you want to go to Tumblr and find us the other way, that's fine too. And if you think of it, you should definitely go onto Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review. It doesn't have to be anything particularly... You could just say that you think
5 stars.
Give
Always
us 5 stars. Tell us you think we suck. That's fine, as long as you give us 5 stars.
5 star.
5 star.
5 star.
Home star? Home star runner? But yeah, if you could do that, that would be most excellent. Or don't. Whatever. So I have been Caitlin.
I have been Jake.
This has been Chris.
And this has been Ames.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.
Chula!
Dabo!
Shap.
Nice. Got it. Sort of sounds like a chainsaw.
Finish your Nomad, damn it!
I know, I should finish Nomad.
Oh, I forgot about Nomad.
I am.
That's because he never
Nomad.
finished it. He looks great. He's just in pieces, though.
Yeah.
You've gone all to pieces.
I want to make a life-size Nomad.
We should.
You gonna make it hover?
Of course.
Can he do sex?
This is an almost screen accurate Nomad model.
He's just got a big schlong. He's President Johnson from the waist down.
Oh, no.
Can he
Always
do sex?
pantsless. I mean to say.
Oh, fuck a duck.
Okay, let's do the silence.
But